the United States has always been characterized by having powerful leaders, capable of holding the reins of the country and maintaining its political, social, and economic status compared to other countries in the world. However, this changed after the arrival of Joe Biden to the presidency, since for many citizens he was not fit to govern one of the most powerful countries on the planet. This scenario leads us to ask the following hypothesis: what would have happened if Donald Trump had not lost the election to Joe Biden? In this video we are going to answer it. Are you ready? Let's go there! Donald Trump began his presidential term on January 20th, 2017, until January 20th, 2021. During his four-year presidency, Trump tackled a variety of policies, from economic changes to political and social controversies. Some of the highlights include his focus on the economy, executive actions, and his handling of international affairs. It is important to note that Trump was not able to bring out all his strategies because his term coincided with the arrival of the global pandemic that paralyzed the entire world, so all the plans he had could not fully materialize. Now, let's analyze all the consequences, both positive and negative, if Trump had remained in power in the United States and Joe Biden had not been president. Unemployment rate. If Donald Trump were to continue his term, the unemployment rate, which had already reached a low of 3.5% in early 2020, was likely to be maintained or may even have fallen, generating economic stability to the present day. Although the Biden administration has kept the unemployment rate at a level close to 3.4%, it is crucial to consider the context in which Trump governed. His first term was challenged by the arrival of a pandemic that generated social, political, and economic chaos worldwide. In this scenario, with Trump in the White House, it is acceptable to imagine a more continuity-oriented approach to pro-business policies that characterized his first term. Under his leadership, the country would be expected to continue with the implementation of corporate tax cuts and deregulations, thus stimulating economic growth. Gasoline prices. Under Trump, gasoline prices remained relatively low, offering economic relief for citizens. Despite fluctuations caused by the pandemic and international conflicts, the price per gallon hovered around $1.84, with some notable spikes. Under the Biden administration, gasoline prices have experienced more aggressive fluctuations. Factors such as post-pandemic, the conflict in Ukraine, and demand increases contributed to a significant rise, peaking near $5 per gallon in June 2022. This variability reflects the Biden administration's difficulty in maintaining stable gasoline prices, in part due to international conflicts affecting global oil supply and demand. In contrast, we can assume that under Trump there would have been more efficient management of external factors. Stability in gasoline prices under his leadership would provide additional relief for Americans' pocketbooks. By the way, before we continue, are you enjoying the video? Leave your like and subscribe, my friend. Inflation. During Trump's presidency, inflation was not considered a significant problem. Inflation rates remained relatively stable, without experiencing steep increases. His administration implemented policies that, according to proponents, encouraged economic growth without generating an inordinate increase in the prices of goods and services. Peak annual inflation during Trump's tenure was 2.5%. So what did Biden do about inflation? His administration has faced persistent inflation challenges, reaching rates not seen in over 40 years. Yes, you heard that right, more than 4 decades. While there has been some easing since the peaks reached during the summer of 2023, prices were still about 3% higher in 2024 than last year. This widespread price increase has affected various sectors, raising concerns about the cost of living and long-term economic stability. The highest peak recorded in the Biden administration was 6.5% annual inflation in 2022. These figures suggest that, in economic terms, the U.S. may have experienced a more favorable inflation situation with Donald Trump at the helm compared to the current Biden administration. International relations. During his first term, Trump took a critical stance toward international agreements, withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement and the Iran nuclear deal. He questioned the utility of NATO and maintained significant trade tensions with China, imposing tariffs and accusing China of unfair trade practices. His ambivalence toward Russia and the construction of the border wall with Mexico were also highlights of his foreign policy. However, under the Biden administration, he sought to restore international alliances, reaffirm commitments to NATO, and re-enter key agreements with China. While maintaining some restrictive trade policies, it sought more sustainable competition and cooperation in areas such as climate change. In the Middle East, he continued with the Abraham Accords and sought to advance the peace process. With Russia, he took a tougher stance, imposing sanctions and seeking cooperation on specific issues. While some assure that with Trump the Ukraine-Russia conflict would not exist nor would the tensions with North Korea, on the other hand, many analysts think that it could have caused a global conflict if Trump had remained in power, which is a bit extremist thinking. However, it is the opinion of many U.S. social and political analysts such as Bob Corker. The stance of one president and the other on relations with other countries is quite different, don't you think? Which one seems to be the most appropriate from your point of view? I read you in the comments. Violence. Given that during his first term, there was a downward trend in some crime rates in certain areas, one would anticipate that Trump would highlight these achievements and seek to expand the policies that he believes contributed to this decline. However, criticism would also persist about his approach to police brutality, especially if controversial events were to arise during his tenure, as was the famous George Floyd case in 2020, which sparked anger in much of society and was one of the big reasons Trump lost many supporters. Trump would likely continue to maintain his traditional position in favor of a tougher response to crime. This approach could generate polarization in society, with some praising the heavy-handed stance and others urging deeper reform of the police system, so surely increases in complaints of excessive force and other crimes by authorities would continue to rise. What do you think? How would the United States be today if Trump had remained president? I'll read you in the comments. Keep enjoying all the content we have on this channel, but not before inviting you to like this video and share it with your friends, as well as subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Remember to activate the notification bell to not miss everything new we will bring to you. See you next time.